So welcome everyone to the 4C podcast. Today we have as our guest Kevin Moses, Director of International Operations for LDARtools. LDARtools is based out of Dickinson, Texas, and we're excited to have him here to talk about LDARtools. Kevin, if you don't mind, can you kind of give a little brief introduction about your company and as well as yourself?
Sure. Like I said, we're LDARtools. Our focus is providing the latest and best hardware and software to manage LDAR programs all over the world. We started the company in about 2006 because the current, at the time, hardware and software had pretty much stagnated. And we saw a lot of room for improvement. It was our hope that we could build not only more reliable hardware, but also revolutionize a lot of the LDAR work practices by automating things like calibration and data collection out in the field. There was a lot of paper being used and a lot of procedures. We knew that there was a way to do it better. And we've spent about 11 years working towards that goal. And we've come very close to building the perfect LDAR system. And we're continuing to work on that.
So throughout this whole process of you guys identifying the lack of innovation on the hardware side and software side and trying to put together the perfect LDAR system, what's been the biggest challenge you've had to face and solve on a consistent basis?
That's an interesting question. I think the biggest challenge we've had is customer, I hate the phrase customer education, but it's really what it is. We have a lot of solutions to problems customers are having every day, all day, and they tend to be so wrapped up in the problems they're experiencing and just getting through the day that they don't have the time to invest in the process for next quarter or next year. So we work really hard at that. And most of our customer education happens, unfortunately, through like support cases and tickets where then something's not going right. And we have the opportunity to be like, hey, we got this problem fixed for you. Check out this new feature that we have. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, constant education, and I guess it's a little bit different, I'm sure, for you as a technology vendor. I'm sure customers seek answers from you, and you're not only willing to provide those answers, but to ultimately get them educated and have them thinking in the right way about your technology so that their experience is a little bit better.
Yeah.
So kind of going on with that, how did you guys come up with your very first product?
Our very first product on the hardware side was actually a Bluetooth adapter for the TVA 1000B. It was probably 4 inches long, 1.5 inches around, that we had built with a company, a local company, electrical engineering company, and went through the intrinsic safety process. At the time, we were our largest user. Another division of the company had about 250, 300 technicians walking around doing the inspections, doing the LDAR leak inspections all over the United States. And when we looked at upgrading the fleet, it made sense just to build all our own equipment. Since then, we've sold off the service group, and we are all we do is LDAR hardware and software. But the first main product we had, big product, was the PHX-21. And it was kind of born out of necessity. We had a fleet of 250, 300 TVA 1000Bs, and at any moment, there was 20 or 30 or 40 of them down in for repair, and it wasn't sustainable. They were getting older, and we needed something else. And the only real option at the time was to just buy a new serial number of the 1000B, but there weren't any improvements made to the product. So we started researching what kind of team it would take to build an analyzer. And without any real market research, other than we knew we were going to be one of our largest users, we assembled that team and started building. The development process went really, really fast. We probably were to market within 1.5 years. And we learned a lot along the way. That product was sold from 2009 to 2016, and some into 2017, and now it's being replaced with the PHX-42, which we joke is twice as good. That's the only real significance of the number.
Fair enough.
And we're about to start delivering that in like 2 weeks. So we're really excited.
Yeah, I really just love that. And I think everyone else listening would just loves that story, mainly because of the fact that, you as a company, as a user, saw the need and, did what every entrepreneurial type of person would do and think, hey, we can either do this or we can figure out how to do it ourselves. And not only did you figure out a way to do that, you managed to create something that can provide value to the broader market. So kudos to you guys. So moving along from that, something I wanted to ask in regards to, the LDARtools approach. What do you think separates LDARtools from the rest of companies within your sector? As well as what do you think is your number one advantage in regards to how you guys can provide value better than your competitors?
Okay. I think the first part, the culture here is such that we're always asking ourselves what can be done better, whether it's an internal process or something we're helping a customer with.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the mindset of here's the tools we are given, let's figure out how to do it. The mindset is, do we need to change our tools to be better? Yeah. And then what separates us from our competitors is one, our largest competitor is a massive, massive company that isn't allowed to make mistakes, doesn't have the time to ask questions, and is quite frankly distracted by other businesses, other markets. And all we do is LDAR. We have a laser focus on LDAR and building the tools that LDAR crews need to get work done. That laser focus lets us be better than someone who's distracted.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense in terms of, larger organizations sometimes don't have the laser focus, as you mentioned, to specific products or categories that, they have steward. So I like that approach. And in regards to, your focus as a company, I completely agree. Sometimes the smaller you are as an organization, I guess the more focused you'll be as you go. You guys will tend to figure out what is the most important question and problem we need to figure out today, and how do we figure it out? So I completely agree with that. Taking a step back from the company side, I'd really like to hear, from your experiences, what do you think the most interesting, implementation or experience you've had since starting this product or selling this product or implementing this product? Any interesting stories that you have from your experiences in regards to the LDARtools?
Yeah, there's a ton of fun stories, and a lot of them would get somebody in trouble.
We
but
say that for another podcast.
Yeah. My favorite one is a story that plays out every single day, and it's frankly how good we've gotten at getting equipment back in the field working. Arguably one of the most expensive parts of LDAR is time you spend not monitoring. It's getting out to the unit you're going to monitor in. It's making sure your equipment works. It's getting calibrated. And downtime is a piece of that. And it's really, really impactful on the bottom line.
Right.
And with the support system we built and the refresher training that our customers go through every quarter, and as well as all the logging and diagnostics we do, that allows us to, when a support case comes in, immediately identify what the issue is, determine if we can fix it on site with the trained people that are there, or if it needs to come in for repair, and make that decision very, very quickly. Just within minutes of support cases coming in, we've determined what failed and what our plan is for getting that equipment in the field, generating revenue for customers as fast as we can.
Absolutely.
And that's reflected by our repair statistics. We're frequently having we call brownie celebrations when we have no equipment in here for repair out of a fleet of over 1,000 units.
How many brownie days have you guys celebrated over the past year?
You're going to make me lie, but I think there's been 4 in the last 3 years. A couple of those were last year.
It's good. What type of brownies are there? Just for any of the audience, in case you're wondering.
They're the regular, just brownies, made with powdered chocolate and flour. I don't know what goes in a brownie, but nothing from Colorado.
That's fair. Just wanted to see how good you guys were at cooking. If you guys are so good at making products, but maybe we can move on.
We order the brownies.
Yeah, the Houston special.
Mm-hmm. Yep, exactly.
So another question too is just thinking about positioning. There's a lot of stuff going on in terms of regulation. Technology changes constantly. I'd like to get your take on what you think, is going to have the biggest impact on your business. And I guess, how do you guys plan to stay ahead of the curve?
Domestically, I don't see the regulatory environment changing enough to impact most of our customers and the need for doing, LDAR monitoring, walking around, checking for leaks. Internationally, we see a lot more interest than we ever have. And we've positioned ourselves in a lot of markets to be the guys that are going to get the phone call when regulations hit. For example, Brazil, and Saudi Arabia, we've done quite a bit of work over there. And China has been a huge opportunity for us, and it just keeps growing. So I think the future looks good. And a lot of that is people care about air quality. And when you walk outside, you can see it.
Right.
It's a big deal. And there's a lot of overregulation all over the world. It's going to be hard to convince Americans that air quality is overregulated, I think.
Right.
We know what it looks like, and it looks like the 70s in Los Angeles, and nobody wants that.
Exactly. So, or walking down the streets of Beijing or Shanghai, you might change your tune a little bit.
Sure, yeah. Just seeing a picture. Enough.
Well, that's great. So I guess with that being said, what is next for LDARtools? Whether it's a specific product you guys are working on or focus that you guys might be looking at? Right now, like I said, about 2 weeks, we're delivering the first batch of 42s, PHX 42s, and I expect that's going to consume us for the rest of the year. We have about 100 units pre-sold right now, I think. I haven't looked at the numbers, and customers just chomping at the bit. Part of our training process requires on-site training for the people doing on-site repairs. So I'll be on the road with a couple other guys, just visiting customers, deploying units, training technicians, and everybody back here will be supporting that and learning from it. I'm sure there'll be lots of lessons to be learned with this new product in the next few months, and having the support guys and the software guys back here working on the next thing and learning with us will be very important. Right.
We've also started rolling out Chateau, our LDAR database, the U.S., and quite a few installations in Saudi Arabia, and we'll be continuing to roll more out. There's a lot of focus on OGI, using Chateau for OGI programs, because it's set up to do that really, really well. And those are most of the new programs that are being installed right now.
Well, that's really good to know. I think, we're all looking forward to see how LDARtools addresses, more needs in the market. I'm sure you guys got a lot of work ahead with the rollout of the 42 and the feedback process, as you said, and kind of feeding the product feedback loop, if you will, and learning lessons.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, with that, I really appreciate your time. And just a note for the audience, Kevin and the LDARtools team will be participating in the 4C conference on April 3rd through the 5th in the JW Marriott Hill Country Resort in San Antonio, Texas. If you guys want to learn more, feel free to check out their website at LDARtools.com. Is that correct?
That's it.
All right. And Kevin, really, really appreciate your time today, and look forward to seeing what LDARtools comes up with next.
Thanks, Uzi. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.